Hey guys, Spanish Heart 18 here, and this is my unboxing and review of the Lex Luthor Power Suit premium format figure exclusive from Sideshow Collectibles. The run size is pretty low for the exclusive version. I have 214 out of 500, and it's pretty surprising considering Lex is one of the premier villains of the DC universe. So yeah, it's pretty surprising that not a lot of people jumped on this guy. But anyway, let's open him up. So here is Lex's art box, and it's a pretty nifty design. I'm really partial to these kind of designs as far as art direction. It's just a sort of a timeless look to it. You can see the colors are really muted. This is just light up chest lights. And yeah, it's just a rendition of his armor, and it's all wrapped around the box. And the back is his logo, the Lex Corp logo. And yeah, there's these kind of like scuffs and marks around the box as well. It kind of denotes the scuffing of the armor. Pretty cool, pretty timeless. Nothing too fancy, and yeah, it just beats the product art that I don't like as far as like art boxes. So lifting up the styrofoam cover, here is Lex. First off, we get his normal hand, his right fist. So the regular version only has this hand. Here we get his light up chest armor. And just flipping it over, get to see the CR2032 lithium battery. So just in case you need to replace batteries, here we go. That's pretty cool. Maybe they took a page out of XM's book. These are the magnets and some circuitry here to make it light up. Next off, I'll go with the base. And wow, this thing's heavy. Probably one of the heavier bases I can remember. Maybe it's as heavy as the Batman base. But yeah, flipping it over, get to see the Lex power armor design. 214 out of 500. And you can see the scuff marks on the design. Pretty cool. And flipping it over again. Yeah, just first off, just the weight of it. It's pretty weighty. In terms of other DC premium format bases, this is probably one of the heaviest. It's a far cry from the Darkseid base, that's for sure. It's probably more in line with the Batman premium format. But here's the Lex Corp design and the logo. Pretty cool. There's some electronic parts. This probably is like the top of the tower. And yeah, I'm smudging it with my sweaty hands. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty weighty. Yeah, and I guess these are the peg holes for Lex's foot. Yeah, I'm just really impressed with the weight. It's a really weighty base. Next is the exclusive hand holding the Kryptonite. So here it is. Pretty nice. One gripe would probably be I wish this thing lighted up. Maybe had a light up LED. but I suspect some guys out there might do make a custom hand. Dynamic Menace, maybe. Hope you're hearing this, Dan. Yeah, I wouldn't mind buying a light up Kryptonite base or a Kryptonite hand. But yeah, just looking at it, it's pretty cool. Yeah, the paint is pretty well done. Really impressed so far. We'll see the portrait. From other reviews and pictures, it does look like it's pretty dark, and just looking at it in hand, yeah, I guess he is pretty dark. It's kind of reminiscent of the original Red Sonja premium format, where the protos looked, her skin tone was pretty light, but in the end we got like a really dark complexion. And yeah, maybe Lex spent a little too much time in the tanning bed. But looking at the portrait, it's wow, really impressed, really nice. This really reminds me of Frank Quietly's work, especially in All-Star Superman. Pretty nice. But yeah, he is on the darker shade. The skin tone is pretty dark. But the sculpt itself is really great. And finally we have the body, the power armor itself, and just trying to take it out. It is pretty weighty as well, so that's pretty good. So I've heard a lot of collectors who probably passed on this guy, kind of comparing this guy to Buzz Lightyear. But yeah, just really weighty. But as far as like paint apps, impressive. One of my biggest concerns about this piece was the panel lining. Whether they'd fuck it up like how Sideshow or how the factory did with the Iron Man pieces they had. I think the Mach 42 or 43. The one from Iron Man 3. I think the paint apps were pretty bad. The same with the with the War Machine one. Iron Patriot might have had problems with the panel lining, but here with Lex, it's pretty crisp. Just the first glance, really well made, really well painted, and really weighty. Just really liking what I'm seeing so far. So first, I'm just curious about the weight of the base. So we're just gonna weigh that pretty quick. I'll just use a scale, tear that up, if it works. And it weighs in at about 14 pounds. So yeah, it is really weighty, and I'm really happy about that. So taking a closer look at Lex's base, we have the Lex Corp name, we have the logo, and the logo here. And just spinning it around, we get to see various doodads, such as cables, some circuitry. Very cool. One thing I do wished that Sideshow could have added was maybe light up features. I would have liked to see some of these lights light up and maybe blink. That would have probably put this base over the top. But then again, it probably would have added more to the price. But yeah, overall, it's a really solid, really nice base. It really fits Lex's profile well. In terms of color, it's a lot of muted colors, lots of shades of gray here. The gold isn't too bright or shiny. It's kind of like a dull gold. And in terms of the grays, it's just really muted. This whole base is really muted. Maybe it's playing upon the tropes of technology, just maybe lacking color and lacking heart. But yeah, it's a really nice base. I can just picture this atop of the LexCorp tower and just overlooking the Metropolis skyline and just signifying Lex and LexCorp at the forefront of Earth's technology. Very cool base. So next up, we put the body into the base. So we use these pegs here to line up the big one, the small one, and we line it up with the tower. Just have to find the right angle, and easy peasy. So next we'll put together Lex's right hand, and if you order the regular version, you just have this fist, his right fist. Very cool. The color's pretty, it's pretty muted. There's a bit of a luster if you shine, if you just direct it at a certain angle. But it's very nice, very well painted. But for the 500 of you that did order the exclusive, you get the Kryptonite hand. Again, very cool, very well painted, and very Lex. And I think it really does add to the piece. Again, I do wish this lighted up, but again, that's what customs are for, right? But very cool. So we'll be using this hand. And then next up, we'll be putting together his chest plate. So this is Lex's chest plate. And yeah, it's very, very nice. Just you can see the magnets. Here's the watch battery. And here is the button that makes it light up. So if you press it, it just lights up like that. It's a pretty nice and bright. So we'll just put this on the statue like so, and then we'll go with the head. And just looking at the head again, it's a bit lighter under the lights, but without the lights, I guess under normal lighting, it is pretty dark and tan. Not to the point of just marring the statue, but just a bit distracting. But again, just the underlying sculpt is just beautiful. Very reminiscent of Frank Quietly's work. I think Steve Schumacher did a fantastic job with the statue. Very nice. Love the details in Lex's face. And just that sneer, the way he looks down. I will say the decals in the eyes, it's a bit blue. As far as like, I don't know if it comes across as blue in the camera, but there's just a blue tinge inside the center of the eye. But yeah, very, very Lex looking. Love his look, the way he just sneers, almost looking down on people, and just very egotistical, very full of himself. And that's how Lex should be. Just confident, pompous, arrogant. And yeah, he thinks he's the man, and you know what, he is. So yeah, I really do like the sculpt. Again, it's just the skin tone or the shade is a bit too dark. But other than that, this is just a fantastic sculpt. Very nice, very detailed, and does capture Lex really, really well. And then it does capture Frank Quietly's work, at least for me, especially during in the All-Star Superman miniseries. So just putting that here. So here we have Lex all set up, looking pompous, looking arrogant, and looking badass. Very, very, very cool. So here is Lex in all his glory, and I have to say Sideshow hit this one out of the park. This is just one fantastic statue. Really, really well done, really well made, and the attention to detail is just really, really impressive. In terms of the power armor, I love the scuffing all around the suit. It just shows him being really battle worn and in many battles with the Justice League and with Superman. And yeah, I mean the color scheme is pretty cool. It's not overly bright. It is pretty muted, but then if you hit the armor at a certain angle, it does shimmer, it does shine. So it's pretty cool. And in terms of detailing, just a fantastic job by the factory. I mean, I'm not sure which factory they used, but I hope they keep on using the same factory, because in terms of panel lining, the details, and the under skeleton, yeah, just really impressive. One of my big fears was how they treated, or how the factory that did the various of Iron Man statues. There was a big backlash with that. A lot of people were returning those Iron Man and those War Machine statues because of the panel lining. It was just really crooked, and it wasn't in the lines, and it was just a mess. But here, I am just really impressed. Really well done statue. It's really impressive. And in terms of the pose, a lot of collectors did say that this is a recycled pose from Sinestro, but I have to say this pose really fits Lex really well. I mean, it just shows just how arrogant and pompous and confident he is. I mean, the way he's sneering, almost looking down at other people. I mean, no one is his equal. He knows he's the shit, and he knows it. And yeah, really impressive. This pose really fits Lex's personality really well. The way his hand is behind his back, and the way he's just holding that Kryptonite rock in his hand, almost daring Superman to do something about it, about him. But yeah, I mean, just a fantastic statue. From the heavy base to the details in the suit. And the portrait, the portrait is really well done. I think Steve Schumacher did a fantastic job with it. And those are all pros. If there was a slight a con, it's a pretty slight one. It would probably be the skin tone. Under like lights, it's not as bad, it's not as dark. But I have to say, I guess under the normal lighting, it is a shade darker. But other than that, this is just a fantastic piece. And Sideshow, you did a fantastic job with this. Really well done. Really impressed. I'm really happy to have this guy in my collection. So here we have the money shot. Here is the Superman premium format figure. And here is the Lex Luthor premium format. And just comparing the two, my God, they really do complement each other. They're perfect matches. I know I've said that with Darkseid, but with the Lex Luthor premium format, it really does complement the Man of Steel. I mean, I think Lex Luthor was made with Superman in mind. In terms of the pose, they're mirror opposites. Here we have Superman just looking up in the distance, being pensive and thoughtful, you know, being the best that humans can hope to achieve, and just setting an example and as a guide. And here we have Lex just being at the pinnacle of human achievement, you know, a self-made millionaire who will do anything and yeah, will do anything to achieve his goals, whether it be stepping on people, you know, to get where they are, then, you know, so be it. It's just an interesting dichotomy between these two personalities and these two characters, and they really do stand the test of time. Just really, really awesome. And geez, I mean, if you have the premium format for Superman, you have to get Lex. I mean, it's just a perfect match. So as a final comparison, here we have the Darkseid premium format figure with Lex and Superman. And I have to say, you know what? They look great together. Darkseid is a bit girthy, but overall, in terms of height, I think Lex beats them all. He's around 26 inches tall, around 9.5 inches long, and 13 inches wide. So yeah, I mean, the footprint isn't too big of a deal. But yeah, in terms of quality, I mean, if you're looking for someone to display with Superman, you're looking for the definitive villain, and you're choosing between Darkseid and Lex, my gut, I have to go with Lex. You get more bang for your buck. You get a light up feature, you get a Kryptonite exclusive that's worthwhile, top-notch QC, the portrait's amazing, the base is nice and weighty, it doesn't take up too much of a space like in your collection. I mean, those are all pros. The one con I do have is probably with the skin tone, with just how dark it is. But it's not a deal breaker in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, Sideshow really hit it out of the park. I think Steve Schumacher, in terms of the sculpt, hit it out of the park as well. This is a top-notch piece, and yeah, it's a must-have in my opinion. If you're looking for like the premier villain of the DC universe, pick up Lex. If you're looking for someone to pair with Superman, the perfect complement to your Superman premium format, Lex is your guy. And if you're looking to build your Legion of Doom, you can't build it without Lex. I mean, this is a must-have guy, and I can't believe this guy isn't sold out. This guy is just amazing. Just a really high-quality piece and a top-notch piece. And, you know, in my opinion, whatever factory that Sideshow is using for this guy, just use it from now on, because he came out amazing. He came out awesome. So with that said, this is Spanish Heart 18 signing off, and yeah, pick up Sexy Lexi.